That's not a lie. It's on your Twitter feed right now. Go check your Twitter feed right now. Go check your Twitter feed right now. It's on there right now. It's on there right now. It's on there right now.
At the end of my video on the Boogie2988 documentary, I briefly touched on this concept of a Boogie Cycle, and the Boogie Cycle generally consists of two parts. The first one being a pledge to end discussions of drama and giving any attention to haters or trolls. And this will usually involve some sort of plan to stick to talking about gaming and travel, topics that he enjoys, and generally positive vibes. And the second part is something will happen that Boogie quote-unquote cannot ignore. A troll or another content creator will make a statement about Boogie, and he will be forced to set the record straight. This usually spills out onto Twitter, with Boogie fighting haters and trolls and apologizing to fans who wish that he would just stop talking about the drama and focus on gaming, and then we're looped right back to the beginning where he makes another pledge to stop talking about drama. My initial task with this video was to put together a timeline of everything that's gone down since October 31st when the documentary was released, to assess how many Boogie cycles we have gone through in that time. There have been a couple factors that have made this somewhat challenging. One, Boogie has tweeted 370 times in the past 11 days, at least according to Social Blade. Two, he deleted a bunch of tweets on November 2nd because he had some sort of meltdown, so he sort of just lost that day. And three, there have been a bunch of mini flip-flops that I wouldn't call full-blown Boogie cycles, but like initially he was saying, man, I really destroyed my career with this documentary, and then he was claiming, no, this documentary actually made me free because people know who I really am now and I don't have to hide anything. And then he started to claim that segments like the job interview were actually just Andy Kaufman-esque bits because it was already a foregone conclusion, so he just decided to have fun with it. Sorry, editing queue here, I need to jump in because this whole statement of, oh, the truth has set me free with the documentary is coming further and further into question, because with revelations later in this video, it seems like Boogie either intentionally misrepresented his finances in the documentary or was just so incompetent that he didn't realize how much stronger his financial situation was than he was representing. But even in the midst of all that chaos, we do have one solid Boogie cycle to look at here. So on October 31st, Boogie2988 released a video on his YouTube channel called It's Over, I'm Done with the Drama, saying that he was finished with all this drama stuff and he just wants to get back to normal, positive videos. And then today he dropped a tweet saying, it's been 10 days since I've talked about drama on my channel, let's try and make it 30. And if you look at his YouTube channel for the past 10 days, you will see 3 gaming related videos and 4 clips from the documentary that are extremely dramatic, but we'll let him off on that because they were filmed beforehand. They are really good pieces of content and he's getting the bag from them. So on a technical level, for the YouTube challenge of 10 days of no drama, let's say he passes. But for you observant viewers out there, you may have noticed at the beginning of this video there was a clip of Boogie being very upset and shouting at the top of his lungs on a live stream from just 2 days ago. So it seems like he hasn't managed to completely stay out of the drama, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So on November 9th, Some Ordinary Gamers, aka Mutahar, puts out a video called Boogie2988 is Completely Pathetic, and it's covering the documentary, but it's sort of taking a different angle of pointing out inconsistencies, specifically with his financial situation. Specifically taking issue with the fact that when Boogie was interviewed by Turkey Tom, he claimed that his best month ever on YouTube, he made $30,000 between AdSense and sponsors.
The money's there now, but it wasn't then. I've never made $70,000 or $1,000. You know what my biggest monthly paycheck on YouTube was? Not including sponsors, about $17,000. Including sponsors, the most I ever made in a month was about $30K.
But in the documentary, it claims that he made $500,000 in 2018, which would be an average of $41-something thousand per month. So it's impossible for him to have maxed out at $30K a month, but somehow made $500,000 in a year. And I do recommend checking out Mutahar's video on this topic because it does cover some more of the financial situation, specifically how braggadocious he was when he was on top of the world with his crypto gains and how he started begging his fans for money when his gamble didn't pay off. It's good stuff. But that info should provide enough context for us to now look at this live stream where Boogie freaked out after being confronted on some of these inconsistencies. Before we get into the November 9th stream where the conflict happened, I do want to go back to November 8th because Boogie was streaming the same game and he said something interesting about the documentary.
Me and Mike were talking about this, and I told Mike, I was like, Mike, I think we have put such a huge negative bomb into the world that even the people that hate me are going to be tired of hating me. I think by admitting all the horrible shit we just said, all the horrible shit I have done, I think by putting all that into one documentary in one place, we might very well have made it so that even the people hate me are tired of hating me. And maybe we'll start seeing some positivity from people we didn't expect it to. Because I've always had a good group of people who have always been very positive, but maybe some of the people that... I just wonder if people just get fucking tired of hating me.
And there are a couple things that are interesting about this clip to me. The first being, that is just really bad logic, and Mike Klum was actually featured on the Some Ordinary podcast hosted by Mutahar, and one of his notes about Boogie was that he seems to be a nice guy, but he just has really bad ideas, like really weird leaps in logic of how things are going to work, and this is a perfect example of that. Like, we're gonna stop people from hating me, we're gonna make them tired of hating me, because they will hate me so much after seeing this documentary. That just does not make any sense to me whatsoever. But the interesting thing about the rest of this stream, I was watching it to try and see if there was anything of note in there. It's a very normal Boogie gaming stream after that point. Like, if I had watched this entire stream live on November 6th when it happened, I would not have expected the next stream to just go into absolute chaos when he's playing the same game and trying to get back on this train of positivity. However, on November 9th, 2023, Boogie2988 started up a Super Mario Wonder live stream, and someone in his chat mentioned that Rich of ReviewTechUSA was also live. Now, ReviewTechUSA is a gaming news and drama channel, and Boogie pretty much wanted to join up and be live with him immediately, which, if I was trying to avoid drama or negativity, I probably wouldn't want to hop on the live stream of someone who covers gaming and YouTuber drama, but this is what went down.
Yeah.
Did you watch the doc? What'd you think?
It's interesting. It's what was your incentive for putting something out so damning about yourself?
There's a lot of different answers to that. I think I didn't get paid anything, though I did get paid $2,000 to travel up to Cleveland to take some photos and stuff to promote the thing. But I didn't get like paid to do anything. My thought process on it was everyone has like this mystique about me. They think that I'm like this guy or that guy or whatever. I don't mind admitting what I've actually done. I don't mind admitting that I lost a shitload of money on crypto. I don't mind admitting that I spent a lot of money traveling the coast to coast and spend money on girls. I don't mind admitting that stuff about me. I'm very open about that, and I'm comfortable with it. It's the stuff that people think is bullshit about me, right? Like, oh, he's abusive to women, and he did this, and he did that. I didn't do any of that shit, you know? So I thought, let's make this thing. Let's make it a piece of art. Let's make YouTube history.
So you'll notice that Boogie was the first one to talk about the documentary in this interaction. I mean, obviously it was the elephant in the room, so it was going to come up, but Boogie did say immediately, what did you think of the documentary? And then he goes on to explain why he did it, which is really bad logic in my opinion. Like, once again, it goes back to that second part of the Boogie cycle, which is having to set the record straight, but I don't really understand how this sets the record straight. Like, yes, you expose all of those things that you did do, but you also didn't disprove any of those more heinous accusations. And I don't know if there's any legitimacy to those more heinous accusations, but it's not like he disproved them in any way. Rich then starts asking Boogie about his income and theorizing that even though he made $500K in 2018, he must have made even more before that because his Francis character and all of his videos were so popular. And Boogie said that he never really made that much money off of YouTube beforehand, coming to the conclusion that he has made $1.2 to $1.3 million off of YouTube AdSense in his 17 years on the platform.
When you made that much money, did you not pay off your house?
Well, dead people don't live in houses, right? And so why pay off a house if you don't plan to live? Right? If you're going to brains out, if you're going to swallow pills, why would you pay off your house? Blow the money and then blow your brains out.
Yeah, but you seem to keep going to that for all of your bad financial decisions.
Well, that's because because of all my bad financial decisions. That's why I made them. I wouldn't have made them otherwise. Why else would I have made them? What would be the reasoning behind it? If you're going to live, you should keep your money for retirement. If you don't plan to live, you should spend it.
So this is such a tough position, and this is, in my opinion, the nature of why he gives this explanation, because it's evoking such a serious thing that you just can't really question it at all. And Boogie has been very quick in the past few weeks to adopt the covert narcissist label. Like, ever since the documentary was filmed, I think he's been using this covert narcissist label for himself, and I really think that it is reminiscent of people that I've known in the past that will use topics like taking one's own life to sort of shut down any sort of criticism or confrontation. And it could be true. It could absolutely be true. That could have been why he did it, why he spent all that money. I'm not really here to like interrogate why Boogie spent all his money. The only problem that I have with it is when he lost it all, he ran to his audience with a deeply emotional appeal for them to pay for him to get out of that hole. You know, donations, channel memberships, merch. He did also ask them to watch the videos, which I think is perfectly fine. That's a reasonable request. But if you manipulate people emotionally, you can get people who do not have a lot of money to put themselves at risk financially to help you because they've built an emotional connection with you. It is not a good thing at all.
Do you realize, man, even with the corner that you backed yourself in, you could live stream and be okay, dude.
I'm literally doing it right now. I'm literally doing it right now.
There you go.
I'm literally doing it right now.
But I have to ask you a tough question.
Sure.
Can you psychologically handle the live streaming?
I don't know. Time will tell. I'm in probably the best mental health state that I've been in a really long time, which is to say not great still. But it's the best I've really been in. And I'm at peace with everything. I'm at peace with the polycythemia. I'm at peace with the girlfriend. I'm at peace with my body. I'm at peace with my mind. I'm at peace with my financial situation.
This is something that I've seen Boogie do a lot throughout his career, like probably hundreds of times. He's in a situation that everybody from the outside could see would be really distressful to a person, but he feels the need to claim that he's like never been doing better and that he's at peace with everything. Like, I think it might be some appeal to positivity, like wanting to seem like he has a good outlook, but everybody from the outside is just like, no, dude, this shit's fucked. Like, even if it is his fault, like, people know that, like, no, you would feel fucked up if this was happening to you, but he has to just like try and cover it up. Like, even right before this, he's like, I'm doing it right now, I'm doing it right now, I'm doing it right now. Like, you can tell that he's getting stressed out, but he needs to like default back into, no man, I've never been better.
And it's a good place to be, I think.
Then if you could handle it, then you'll be okay, because that's where you could do all right. But
we'll see. I mean, I'm doing all right on YouTube, I'll tell you, since these view numbers are up, but I don't think they'll stay up. But I started talking about some video games and stuff, and people seem to really like me doing commentary again. And I'm enjoying doing commentary again. Go follow me on YouTube if you haven't seen my commentary videos in a while. I think you'll like what I'm doing over there.
Do it.
Yeah, go follow me on Twitch. You might like what I'm doing there.
Go consistently and consistently do it. And you know what, man? Be more positive again. Don't be a misery merchant.
I mean, that's do you hear me being a misery merchant tonight? I'm happy as a pig and shit. I'm glad to talk to you, Rich. I haven't talked to you in years.
It's you sound, there's a different tone to your voice though, and I'm trying to.
So I just want to throw this in there. I'm pretty sure that Rich took like edibles before this stream. He admits to it, and it ends up getting so far out of hand for what he was ready to handle. But it's perceptive of him to say that there's a different tone in Boogie's voice, because I could tell it as I was listening to it for the first time. Like, he seems in a state when he's in this live stream. I think he's preparing somehow for what's about to happen, preparing for that conflict. So then Mutahar, aka Some Ordinary Gamers, joins the stream, and he's pretty fucking angry right off the bat. I think they have some personal behind-the-scenes stuff going on that I'm not super familiar with, but yeah, he lays right into him pretty quickly.
I can't.
Right.
I don't have the time. It's just like, I think you're a compulsive liar is sort of the...
I respect that. I understand that. I've definitely been an unreliable witness.
How can you say you're like, you respect that? Like, this is the thing that I don't get. Like, you respect that somebody believes you're a compulsive liar?
That's a very respectful... That's very respectful.
That's not respectful.
To have.
That's not respectful. Like, you should be learning to better yourself instead of just saying,
am,
oh, that's respectful. What are you doing?
What I'm saying
yourself?
is I have lied in the past. I'm doing my best to not lie.
But you literally, like, okay, so you've lied in the past. What have you done very recently? Because, like, in the last few months, You literally like blatantly lied. Like that whole boxing fight thing. It's funny because catching you in a lie is the easiest thing in the entire
what did I lie
world.
about the boxing fight thing?
You said that you had $1,500 in boxing, like to pay for boxing.
Oh no,
lessons.
Mike Klum said on my live stream he fudged those numbers. He didn't get those numbers from me. He'll openly tell you.
And so hold on. You watched this
documentary
documentary before it came out in its entirety, and we're okay with that then?
I didn't pay attention to the numbers like most of the text. Like, for example, he said that I was on a drug that I'm not on. Apparently, one of the drugs he wrote the name of. I'm on like a muscle relaxer called bupropion or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote like bupropion, which is a drug people take to recover from opiate addiction. Oh, thank you, baby.
So now you're implying that the documenter that you worked with is a liar. So
No,
that brings up his
I'm just saying
entirety into that brings his entire like integrity in the future of his channel.
No,
into
I'm just saying that he made a couple of mistakes when it came to the numbers, and he came.
So this is actually a pretty big accusation. It seems like Boogie maybe doesn't realize how big of a deal it is. He takes a very casual approach to this, but like, one, I did notice in the documentary that Boogie said a different medication than what was listed on the screen, so that just could have been a mistake or whatever. It is an oversight that like is a big deal. But as far as the numbers being fudged, so much of this documentary was about the financial stuff, so that's a big deal if it was incorrect. But Boogie ends up later in the stream just being very like wishy-washy about like, oh, I don't care that much about the specifics. Muta and Rich then kind of interrogate Boogie about the $9,000 that he still has in cryptocurrency, which like I understand because it's not really a safe bet to leave it in crypto. Boogie's theory is, oh, it's already gone so low, how could it even get any lower? Which I just personally wouldn't test that boundary and take it out and put it in savings or index funds or something like that.
So here's what I don't understand. You have $750,000 and you just decide to put all of it into crypto when that money could have went into
No, I did not have $750,000. I had $250,000.
That's what literally the documentary that you were on.
I understand.
Said.
That's the most I had was $700,000. When I initially invested in crypto, I had $250,000.
So why did you let him write you lost $600,000 in crypto?
Because that's about how much I lost. My max amount was about $700,000. And so if I sold that day, I would have had $700,000.
The math doesn't make sense.
Well, the math should make sense. Well, let me walk you through it, okay? Now, let's imagine you have $250,000, okay, which is what I had. Now you invest it, okay? Now it goes up to $800,000, okay? Now if you sold it, then how much money would we have? $800,000, right? But I didn't. I sold it when it was considerably less than that.
So you're telling me you put $250,000 in, you made like $750,000. That was your peak, right? Like the asset that was valued.
Yep.
So why the wouldn't you cash it out then? Or you just like greedy? Was it literally like a gamble? Like it literally sounds like you're playing fucking roulette.
So they kind of changed the topic after this a little bit, and I wish they hadn't. I wish they had harped on this because it's a very important distinction. Like, if he had earned $750,000 and then he put it in and it went all the way down to $150,000, I feel like that's a much different loss than putting in $250,000 and having it eventually go down to $150,000 after being all the way up at $750,000. Because Boogie never actually had $750K in liquid assets. He had the evaluation of that on his crypto, which that shit was just insane. It was like a wild ride, which is why I don't love that Muta characterizes it at like, why didn't you take it out? Like, that's greedy. Because I mean, all of this was greed in the first place. He was hoping for money to magically turn itself into much more money. Like, he could have taken it out at a bunch of times earlier and had that be much more logical. And I don't even know if Boogie realizes he's doing this, but this is either him accusing the documentarian of getting the numbers wrong or fudging the numbers, as he says, or him admitting to miscommunicating the numbers to the documentarian.
I mean, it was kind of like gambling, honestly, Muta, but I went to bed one night. I was invested in a small shit coin called, it was either Uni or, I don't know, Michael Green could tell you the other one, but one of them was Uni, one of them was, I don't know. But I went to bed and it lost 60% value overnight. I woke up the next morning and I sold what I had, but that didn't really matter because I lost. I went from about 700,000 back down to about 200,000.
I mean, this is just, I don't even like really, like, first off, the math is incredibly weird. I feel
what's weird about that? 250,000 doubles, and then adds another 60%. It goes from 250,000 to 700,000. And then I went to bed, and the asset lost 80%, 90%. You know what a market crash is, I'm sure.
Boogie's numbers are changing over the course of like 30 seconds. He's like $750,000 was his peak before. Now it's 700,000. Then he said they lost 60% overnight. Then it goes up to 80-90% overnight. Like, these should be concrete numbers that you know. Like, you could see how the documentarian would get things wrong if he was having to communicate with this guy to get his numbers straight. Like, it's all over the place.
You know, I should have
So
never. I should
after
have
you
never.
got so hold on, you put in 250,000, you got up to 750. How much did it drop to?
About 200,000, 250,000 overnight.
And you didn't fucking decide maybe I should cash out then? No, you let it go all the way down to 30 after
Well, I
that.
did. I did cash out then. But
So
what do you think
cashed
I've?
out
What do you think I've?
$200,000?
Yeah. What do you think I've lived off of since 2000 or 2020? I've had to live off something.
So this is where shit actually gets fucked up, because now he's claiming that he took out something like $200,000 to $250,000 from the crypto market. So initially it was 150, now it's 200 to 250. Let's just say that it's the 250 number. That means he broke completely even. This has been a huge plot point in this guy's life, that he lost all this money in the crypto market. And like, no, he just thought he was 3 times as rich for a short period of time, and then he ended up with the same amount of money. Like, what the fuck is even going on?
One of the things I really regret. I mean, at this point, and I'm very lucky, and I've been open about this. This house says it's worth probably, and people pointed this out after the doc. I wasn't aware of this, but this house's value is closer to like 450,000. I paid 250. I owe about 150 on it. So
I'm so mad right now, because there's been a crowd of people for years that has been like, Boogie is not as broke as he pretends to be, and I've always been like, no, it seems like the guy's actually really bad with money, and he is broke. I was right about the first part. He is really bad with money, but if his house is worth $450,000 and he owes $163,000 on it, as his bank statement says in the documentary, then he has $280,000 in potential profit from the sale of the house. I mean, there's like realtor fees and stuff like that. He might sell it for less, but let's just say $250,000 house, like money that you could sell your house and make $250,000. That is so much better off than the average human being in this world. Like, even somebody who's doing pretty decently cannot just pull $250,000 out of an asset if they needed to. The entire premise of this documentary is that this is a man who is going to be broke. Like, you see the $7,800 in bills per month, and that he's only bringing in $2.5K some months. And I was coming out of the documentary thinking, yeah, maybe he'll make $10K a month for the last 2 months of this year because of the higher ad rates and the attention from the documentary. But the second January comes around, he's gonna start hemorrhaging money again. But like, that does not have to be the case for him at all. He genuinely has assets.
theoretically, after closing costs, I could collect $200,000.
The math that you just told me makes it sound like you put in a value of money into cryptocurrency, it raised, and then you lost, but you cashed out roughly around the same value you put in. So it doesn't really sound like you lost $600,000 in crypto then, right? It just sounds like
again.
So once again, very important distinction. He is now claiming that he put in $250,000 to crypto and he took out maybe a little bit less, but pretty close to what he started with. So Boogie and Muta then get into an argument about, like, should he sell the house, should he not sell the house? And this is where it gets pretty confusing to me. The only thing that I'm going to harp on is that there is value in the house and that can somehow be leveraged to help Boogie's financial situation. But Boogie's talking about equity that he has in the house. He doesn't want to rent. He wants his money to go towards equity instead of just going to a landlord every month. And I understand that. So I really don't know how to make heads or tails of, like, oh, should he sell the house? Should he not? If there was an ideal situation in my mind, it would be for him to get into another house with a lower mortgage. So sell this house, get into a smaller house, because he shows in the documentary, or at least one of the extended clips, that he has an extra room that he is not using for anything in this house. So maybe he can downsize a little bit, but obviously the market's weird. I don't know what the options are.
And a huge chunk of my money goes directly into equity because this loan is so matured at this point. So at the end of the day, I would rather keep the home as best I could, take care of the people that I can take care of, keep building equity. And I honestly think it puts me in a tightrope situation where it makes me stream more. It makes me make more YouTube videos. It makes me try harder.
See, I don't really see that. You've been on a tightrope situation for the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, it's never been this tight. This is as tight as it gets. you know.
And see, this is the thing. Like, yeah, sure, it's cool, but like, how can you ever expect anybody to feel bad for that? It sounds like you gambled away your money, and that's what it is.
Now, once again, this entire gambling thing is a fallacy. He ended up with the same amount of money, maybe a little bit less than he started with. There was something else that made Boogie broke, and I don't know why he decided to go with this crypto thing as the explanation, because especially once you start begging your fans for money, if I was trying to be a professional e-beggar, I wouldn't be like, yeah, I lost it all on crypto. You could come up with some other sob story as to why it happened.
Right. If you look at this documentary we made, does that look like a documentary that was designed to make somebody feel bad for me? Of course not.
It honestly, it felt like that was the intention, but because
no, obviously not.
That I believe you
obviously not.
It looks like that from its intention. I mean, do you not understand how bad this documentary makes you look? When you were
that's my point. That's exactly my point. Yeah. Cause shoot, welcome to the sub club. Whenever you get a brand new sub, you know I'm gonna go like this. Thank you, my friend.
When you were out trying to find this job or whatever, like what happened with that? Like, why did you absolutely throw away that opportunity? Like,
so we went in.
You took a dump all over.
We went into the job interview. That is not a job interview. It's a staffing agency. To be very clear.
Exactly. You're doing.
Yeah, but hold on.
Cool.
Hold on.
Exactly.
Okay, one, yes, the documentary was designed to make people feel bad for Boogie. Even though it makes him look very bad, he's still supposed to be a pitiful figure. He's admitting, oh man, I did this all to myself. Like, it's supposed to elicit pity in some sort of way. That's how so many of the scenes in the documentary feel, even if they make him look bad. And then the job interview, yeah, this wasn't an interview for one job, but it was an interview with a staffing agency or a job recruiter, which is a company that is supposed to help line you up with positions that you would be fit for.
So it's a staffing agency, and we talked a little bit beforehand.
You got to be staffable, though.
Right. We talked a little bit beforehand and made it abundantly clear that there was not anything this company was going to be able to do for me.
See, I can talk.
So I decided to have fun with it. And I just went into my Andy Kaufman mode, tried to have fun with it. And that's what we put into the doc. And the extended scene, I hope, shows that very clearly. But walking into that staffing agency in the first 5 minutes, we knew there's nothing this company could do for me.
So, I mean, my gut is telling me that this is just incorrect because it just feels wrong that somehow he sat with a staffing agency that works with so many companies and they immediately told him there was nothing they could do, because it just feels like a Boogie story. Oh, yeah, no, it was a foregone conclusion. There was no way anything was going to work out. But if that was the case, please explain why. Explain exactly why they wouldn't be able to set you up with a job. Obviously, in the interview, you listed a bunch of reasons why you should be unemployable, but, like, they didn't know all of that beforehand. They then get back into discussions about housing, and Rich brings up that the housing bubble could burst at any time, and it might be a really good time for Boogie to get the full value out of his house. And then Boogie responds with this.
I know you guys don't believe
hold
on. I know you guys don't believe I have friends, but I sat down with my CPA.
Who said that?
A lot of people. Like, people, every time I mention I have a friend who has a job, they're like, "You don't have a friend." But like,
who says that? I don't say that.
Well, like, I had a friend in PR, and they're like, "You don't have a friend in PR." I have a friend who works for the feds. You don't have a friend that has a Fed. So when I tell you, I know
we're not those people. So I believe you have a friend.
Well, I do have a CPA friend.
So this is really starting to show that, like, Boogie is clearly getting agitated, and I think when he gets agitated, he has no choice but to enter the victim mode, and so he starts attributing things that Rich and Muta have never said about, you don't have any friends. So he's, like, kind of blending together Rich and Muta with trolls in the past who have, like, not believed that he has a friend that does a certain thing, or over here or over there. The conversation then shifts to income questions, specifically the discrepancy between him claiming that his best month on YouTube he made $30,000 in an interview with Turkey Tom, and then the documentary claiming that one year he made $500,000, which would put his average monthly income at $41,000.
I like to research these situations and get down to the bottom of it. With Tom, actually, you said that your best earning month on YouTube was 30 grand with sponsors.
Yeah.
So explain to me real quickly. So in 2000, and I think it was 18 or 19, whatever, when you made $5,498,000 US specifically, even if you multiply 30 by 12, which is like some real utopian ass accounting, that's still not even coming close to clearing 498,000. So like, what is up with these weird discrepancies in like income? Like that's at least $110,000 discrepancy.
I don't know. I mean, like, if you need to see my taxes, I've got them all on my hard drive. You can see them. I don't know. I mean, a lot of
But
times
then
when I quote numbers,
again-
But like, but
well,
like,
admittedly,
it's
a
like,
lot of the times when I quote numbers, I'm not expecting that level of scrutiny. But you're welcome to see them if you need to, Muta.
So my issue with this is that usually when we use numbers as people, it's an appeal to some sort of like factual matter. Like we're bringing up the number because we know that the number means something and we're trying to represent something to somebody else. This is one of the biggest issues with listening to Boogie, is that in addition to any sort of intentional lies that he's doing where he's intentionally trying to mislead people, he also seems to be just like guessing about numbers all the time, just saying things sometimes to fill the void. So it's like there's so much information that is incorrect that you can't make heads or tails of what he's just wrong about and doesn't realize he's wrong, or what he's intentionally trying to mislead.
But it's a documentary.
yeah, it's like this is a documentary that. You
Well, wait.
want
So
to,
I
like,
thought you were
put out on
I
the
thought you were
board.
talking about
Shouldn't it be
I thought you were
factual?
talking about a conversation with Tom. Did
with
somewhere
Tom,
did somewhere in the
Turkey Tom,
documentary say I made
with
$30,000 in the
Turkey Tom, yes,
documentary?
With Turkey Tom, a couple months ago,
Yeah.
5 months ago, you said that your best earning month was 30,000 with sponsors.
Yeah.
In the actual documentary,
Well, it might have been closer to
one of your
32.
years-
It might have been closer to 35. I don't know.
32 and 35 isn't going to fucking dramatically give you 110,000 extra like shortfall. So the numbers are so odd. Nothing in your math actually adds up. Like $500,000 in 1 year, and then there's tweets of you saying I paid $114,000 in like taxes or something too. So it's like,
Well, I did. I mean,
even if you
want to see these numbers, it will bring you peace of mind. I'll just send you everything, Mood. I don't really give a shit.
I'm not your accountant. Like I'm not.
I'm
the
just saying, like,
IRS.
if
It's just,
it is
I
that
expect
important to you, if it's that important, to you, I'll show you the numbers.
I think the truth is important, right? Like I
Yeah.
think being factual. I think when you
Well,
have
I
a fan base,
I
because
ballparked it.
one
It
of
might have
my
been
issues with
35.
you-
It might have been
one of my issues
35.
with
I
you
don't
is
know.
Is this guilt? Is this guilt tripping you do to your fan base?
What guilt
Especially
trip am I
when it comes
doing
to
right
money.
now?
Especially when it comes to money, it's like
Dude,
I'm
I
about
made
to
that
lose my
mistake
house. I'm
last
about-
year, and I haven't mentioned
No,
it since.
let
I
me-
haven't
let me
mentioned it
explain.
since.
When it comes to money, you're always telling your fans, I wish I could do better. I wish, like I wasn't on my dire straits. And now when we're looking at your revenues and you're talking about your earnings, there's such a discrepancy there. So am I
Well,
supposed
I
to
can
believe
fix
that
these discrepancies for you. I'll set you down, and you can see them.
So yeah, first off, the whole I stopped begging for money a year ago. Yeah, you may have stopped explicitly asking people for it, but when you set up your emotional fan base to think that your financial situation is very dire, they're obviously going to want to help you. And I kind of wish that Muta had just stopped here and been like, okay, let's take a look at those tax documents. Let's take a look at the YouTube analytics for that time. Let's take a look at the sponsorship deals, because then you would just have the answer. You would be able to put it all together. Now, obviously, they're on a live stream together. It's easy to say all of this from the outside, and obviously it would take time for Boogie to get all that information together, but I do wish we could look at it.
Am I supposed to believe that you're at your financial wits, or maybe you have more money than you let on? Because nobody has any idea. You're not giving factual numbers.
I literally
And then-
posted. I
and
know.
then
I
you get
literally.
a
Hold
little-
on.
and
I
then you get a
literally
little bit
posted.
angry. You get
I
a little
literally
snippy with me when
posted.
you tell me shit about
I
this, and I'm
literally
telling you right
posted.
now, these discrepancies.
Hey
are
Muta,
not
I
something
literally
like to see.
posted my bank account
Sure.
info and my crypto info in the local chat. You can see how much money I have. Unless
I'm
you
not
think
in the locale chat.
you were when I posted it last week.
You think I'd look through every single thing on there? Like I'm not even a paid member of the
Well,
Locale
if you're,
podcast.
well, what I'm saying is,
Look through it.
if you're still in it, you can go look right now.
I'm not
Unless
in
you
it.
think I have like a stack of cash laying around, that's everything.
So things are definitely starting to break down here. I kind of wish that Muta was a little bit more composed so that he could get more information, or at least attempt to get information out of Boogie, with Boogie floundering all over the place. But I don't think anybody really knows what it's like to be in this moment talking to Boogie2988 and how frustrating that would be. But you can tell, like, the tensions are rising and things are about to break down any second.
I'm not in that right now, nor do I see your tax information, nor do I need to see it. I just need to explain. I need you to tell me, for a man who's watched this documentary before its release and you stood by it,
Yeah.
how could you stand by such glaring discrepancies?
They weren't that important to me, and I forget how important.
So
they
you're
are to
telling me
everybody
the exact amount of money you make when that's such a big part of your like complaining
Of
like,
this
your
whole
compla-
thing. Yeah.
else. Well, I know how much money I made. I don't care what you guys know or think. That's not that important to me.
So I'm not sure if Boogie actually knows how much money he's made or is making now. He seems very confused about it and unable to give solid numbers. But of course it mattered in the documentary. How could you imagine it wouldn't matter? It was like the story of the documentary was the money struggles.
I don't.
So you're willing to give us false information when we try correcting you
yeah,
on it?
it's
You
a
get snippy?
documentary.
Well, again, like I said, you got to take that up with Mike. Unfortunately, he ballparked the numbers.
Wait, you gave the information.
You were the one who
No, I
You
didn't
were the
give it.
one
No, I
giving
did not
my
give him that information. I did not.
What do you mean? He had access. You were the one talking about this with him. You were in your tub showing him your bank account.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay. Let me call Mike. Let's get him in on this. Okay?
I guess Mike is like the biggest fucking liar then.
No,
right,
he's
Rich?
not.
Like, holy
He just,
shit.
again,
Well,
he's not
apparently
used to
Mike
the
flubs
level
up
of
the
insane
truth more-
scrutiny that you guys feel you need to have.
I guess
right?
Mike must like absolutely. What the fuck?
It's like, where would Mike have gotten the numbers from if he didn't get them from you? And he's not used to this level of scrutiny. Like, he really is pushing it off on Mike, even if he doesn't think he does. Mike Clum's the documentarian, by the way, just in case you're as lost in the sauce in this video as I am. But yeah, this guy Mike Clum, he has like a company with a reputation. And yeah, maybe this was his first documentary, but he's done like marketing stuff for companies in the past. I'm pretty sure he's a big boy who's used to numbers meaning real things and having your facts straight.
If anyone else made a documentary like this that had big financial discrepancies, they'd be.
Yeah, you'd be fucking mad. You'd be yelling at us. You'd be
No,
like,
I wouldn't. I'm so
information.
used to you being wrong about me. I'm numb to it at this point.
How am I wrong about you?
I don't.
I called about these discrepancies.
I'm
That's what
talking about in the
asking you.
past, man, and I don't.
How have I been wrong in the past? Please explain exactly how I've been wrong.
Okay, this is where shit really fucking breaks down, and even I, as someone who is chronically online when it comes to this shit, get kind of confused. So apparently, there was an accusation that Boogie had been bragging in some sort of group chat about his girlfriend who just turned 18. I do not know if this was true. Boogie denies it vehemently. Muta seems to be kind of attached to like maybe it was true, he heard it from somebody. But the point of this segment of the video is just to show how distressed Boogie gets about this.
My 18-year-old girlfriend's a good fucking start when she's not 18. That's a good
I
fucking
never
start.
made a public
You
statement, by the
tweeted
way.
that fucking
Never.
last week. You tweeted that last week.
When did I tweet?
You said you're telling people she's 18. I never fucking did.
No, because
I never
was
did.
the one that talked about it in that.
No,
that
but
group
you
chat, and
tweeted
I
it. It's
talked
on
in.
your fucking feed right now. You tweeted out.
What do you
When you
mean?
tell
You're the-
people your
when
girlfriend
you
is
tell
18.
people-
When you
Yeah,
tell
when
people,
you
I
were
never
telling
did.
them stuff.
I
You
never
did.
did.
That's what he told
I
us
never
to bring it
did.
here.
But I
That's
didn't.
what he told us.
But you are factually incorrect because
Did
I
make
never
that-
did.
Did I speak about that publicly until?
Yes,
you
it's
mentioned
on your
it?
Twitter feed.
Yeah, I quote tweeted
Yeah.
you because you.
No,
were bringing
you
it up
didn't.
publicly.
No,
Yes,
you
I
didn't.
did.
That was a something.
Yes,
that was
I
a
did.
completely separate
Yes,
tweet.
You were the one that brought
The
it up.
point that
I
I'm making is
quote-tweeted
you are still
So you're
fucking
literally
wrong.
lying
The
right
point
now.
that I'm making is
And
you're
by the
still
way,
fucking
even
wrong.
there, I
You're
never
still
claimed
fucking
that
wrong.
your
I have her
girlfriend was
ID in
18.
my wallet. I
never
know how
claimed
old
that
she
you were-
is.
Okay, so once again, I really don't understand what's going on here, but regardless, not the best engagement for Boogie to be getting into with somebody if he's trying to de-stress and keep things positive on the internet. Like, he is in the mud right now. And that statement at the end of like, I know how old she is, I have her ID in my wallet, it's just so weird. Like, she's her own person. Why do you have her ID in your wallet? Like, I get maybe you guys go out and she doesn't bring a purse or something like that, but it kind of sounds like you're just like waiting to get questioned in public and you pull out your wallet and you show her ID and you're like, she's of age, everybody.
You literally.
She's
just
not.
lied
She's
so
20 years
hard.
old.
And now you're
How
so
long-
mad that you got caught in this lie.
That's not a
Because
lie.
I
It's on your
quote-
Twitter
I
feed right
quote-
now.
Yes,
Go check your
I
Twitter
quote
feed right now.
I'm looking
Go
at
check
it.
your
I
Twitter
quote
feed right
tweeted
now. It's on
you.
there right now.
Boys,
It's on there right now. It's on there right now. Go look at your Twitter feed. It's on there right now. I ain't lying to nobody. It's on there right now. Go look at it. It's not there. I'm not lying about anything. It's fucking on there. You said it.
I'm looking at it. You're the. I quote
You
tweeted
said
you're
it. You
talking
said
about
that
it.
I said that, and I never did.
Your quote
I
tweet
never
said, I
did.
don't wanna
I
address
never
the team
did.
and Muta
I
group.
never
Yeah,
did.
you did.
I never
You're the
did.
one
I got
that-
a
I
question.
never did. I never did. I never did. But you said I did. That's you being wrong about me. That's you being wrong about me. That's you being wrong about me.
I literally just.
That's
fucking
you being wrong about me. Oh, what? How's it
Like,
feel,
you're
Muta? How's it feel,
legitimately
Muta?
wrong.
How's it feel, Muta, to be caught in the lie? Woo! How's it
Alright,
feel,
we'll
Muta?
Wait for you to calm down, I guess. Jesus Christ.
So this is fucked up for me to watch. Once again, don't really understand what's going on, but this whole like repetition of phrases, very exaggeratedly, just like over and over. I never did. I never did. I never. Like, it's, you can tell he's in deep distress. He's trying to do this gotcha thing with Muta, that like, this is proof that you've lied about me in the past, which is like fine, I guess, from some sort of perspective, but it really feels like he's pivoting off of what the current questions are and trying to change the topic for something that I guess maybe Muta was wrong about in the past. It's really hard to figure out the factual information on this topic, but Boogie extremely distressed at this point.
And then I can deconstruct exactly how you're wrong.
How am I wrong? Did you tweet that I said that she was 18?
Yes, I did.
I never did.
No.
I never did. I never did.
I
never did, though. I've never said it. I've never said it. I've never said it. I've never said it.
50-year-old man, dude. Jesus Christ.
I've never said it. I never will say it because she's not. She never was 18 when I knew her. So
Yeah,
why would I have ever said
the
it?
fact that you were talking about
How
me
long?
in some
How
group
long?
chat.
How long were you talking to her
God damn, dude.
for?
We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary today. We officially started talking November 10th. Last year.
November 10th of what year?
Last year. 1 year ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Which would have made her 19 at the time. We started dating when she was 20, when she turned 20 in March. And we've met for the first time in June.
And she legal is legal, and that's all that matters to me. But you don't.
No,
think
I mean
that
it matters to me. I wouldn't want to date an 18-year-old.
Boogie is just, he's such a strange man. Like, I could understand how if the age gap was smaller and it was like somebody in their 20s with somebody that's 18 or 19, maybe the 18 versus 19 thing would matter more. But when you're a 49-year-old man, it's kind of strange to have this line in the sand of like, yeah, 19-year-olds, cool as fuck. 18-year-olds, nah, man, that's just too immature for me. Then Muta and Rich start talking about how, you know, like, it might be a lot to dump on this person, that you have all these health issues when you just started dating. And then Boogie's like, well, she should be informed. And then they kind of come back with, well, you know, it kind of traps her in if she feels like she's your main resource for help and you need so much help because you're so sick. And then Boogie comes back with, like, you know, sickness is one of the main reasons that, like, divorces happen and breakups happen. And I just think it's a different context here when you have, like, an impressionable young person. Like, yeah, she's not a child, but she is a very young person, and things are just so much more intense at that age, in my opinion, from my experience. Like, you really might have that idealism of, like, if this person doesn't have me, they don't have anybody else. So, like, I need to be there. Like, this is my duty, you know?
She chose to
Yeah,
stay,
but
and I think
she's
that's awesome.
yeah, but she's psychologically damaged though.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
She's
the
got
difference.
daddy
I
issues.
mean, so am
I mean,
I.
shit. She even sat there and was like, "If you cheat on her, she'll still let it go because you're."
yeah, we had a really good moment. We had a really good
moment.
moment on the live stream the other night, and she came in here. I'm like, baby, if I ever cheat on you, you got to promise me you'll cut my dick off. And she's like, of course. Yeah, she's got social anxiety. She's like me. She says silly shit sometimes when the pressure's on. It's really hard.
Yeah, but I didn't even realize that for her to say that she would still be with you if you cheated, like, it's just.
She immediately regretted saying it. Like, we talked about it that night, and obviously we talked about stuff,
but Freudian slips are Freudian slips.
Yeah.
This was one of the extended clips on Boogie's channel where she admitted that she would stay with him if he cheated on her, which is just a huge sign that somebody is deeply invested in another person, like overly invested. Cheating is a deal breaker for like 95% of people. And yeah, you can talk about like the cameras and there was a lot of pressure on her, but like it's still an answer that she gave in that context. Most people would just immediately answer, no, I'd fucking be out of here in 2 seconds if somebody cheated on me. And then the rest of the live stream kind of pivots back to that whole somebody claimed that Boogie bragged about his girlfriend having just turned 18. We don't know if it's true or not. It sounds like something Boogie would say. Like Boogie does, even with that like duck story at the beginning of the documentary, bragging about this childlike girl and he washed her off and then they went to bed together. Like, it seems like he does enjoy bragging about freaky, weird things. So it's not completely out of character, but I can't say it happened or not. But they get into arguments about that over and over again, and then Boogie eventually just leaves the stream because he's kind of done talking about it and ends up ending his own stream as well. And the major takeaways for me are like, one, the Boogie cycles are still occurring. He didn't want to get into drama anymore. He got into intense drama in this live stream, and then afterwards had the gall to be like, I haven't gotten into any drama in 10 days on my channel. And then the whole fucking financial thing, like, this financial situation has been horribly misrepresented. Like, from the giant crypto losses, he actually broke even, to he's totally broke now. He actually could sell his house and make a lot of profit if he wanted to. Like, this is really strange. We are in a very different situation than I thought we were when I started making this video even. What's even more interesting is what is apparently coming out today, which is the Lolcow Live podcast, which is the concept is that Boogie2988 and Wings of Redemption are going to be milked for their Lolcow status, which is pretty much just like making fun of and antagonizing somebody who has been a disaster online for years by Tommy C from Shot from the Point. It's like a drama news live stream, Nicholas Diorio, and Turkey Tom. And the whole thing is run by Keemstar. So it's gonna be a shit show. I'm looking forward to watching it for content reasons, but as somebody who's trying to stay out of drama, this is one of the worst decisions Boogie could make. Boogie's goal with this and what he's stated is that all of the drama will happen on the Lolcow Live podcast, and that will be exclusively where it occurs. Now, I do have a small amount of faith that he might manage to keep it off of his YouTube channel, but obviously if he's getting into shouting matches with people and people are trying to expose him for his lies, inconsistencies, his past on this podcast on a weekly, even monthly basis, it's going to spread into his other life. Like, you cannot fully compartmentalize this, but I'm ready to watch the dumpster fire that will occur. It will probably be somewhat entertaining. So sorry if this video is confusing. If anybody has any questions, you can leave them in the comments. Maybe there will be another follow-up video after the Lolcow podcast goes live, but let me know what you think. Were you confused? Could you put together a storyline out of this? Make sure you're drinking a lot of water and skating on the best of your abilities, and I'll see you super soon.